environment. The whole point of this exercise is getting the dog to transition from a soft surface condition to hard surface. Now we do this incrementally and in a tiered fashion. Now the dog's a little bit further along, so we're also throwing in human contamination and cross tracks into this. Really important to see how this dog's working. You can see kind of heads up behavior coming off the track, and if you look here in the grass you can see the physical track of our subject, and you'll be able to see how the dog actually reacts to it. Nobody can see it on the ground, but the drone picks it up really nicely. See, so you know exactly when the dog's on track. The dog peels off the track a little bit, and this is probably due to a lot of windblown odor from the highway, but then immediately knows where the track is and where it goes to. He wants to head across the street, so the handler, rightly so, puts him in a down position so we can safely get across the street without blocking traffic. As soon as the cars go by, he releases the dog, and the dog goes to the next productive source and picks up odor. Now, as soon as the dog gets to the other side, it's really interesting how he picks up the contact odor on the top of the grass stalks there. He gravitates to that first. That contact odor is always better than skin cells or sloughed skin cells that are hitting the ground, or even ground disturbance for that matter. Contact odor from the human always seems to be something the dogs want the most. So he picks up on this odor really nicely, and it's one of the reasons why he sticks here a little bit longer, is because of that contact odor on the grass blades. But he picks up the track very nicely here on the right-hand side of the road, and if you notice, he's constantly fringing into the vegetation. Part of this is because as the humans walking down this path, a lot of their contact odor is hitting the grass stalks. At this point in the game, the dog is starting to get a little bit distracted. It looks left, it sees something off in the distance, and what this is a visual distraction, and it's the reason why the dog's peeling off. This isn't scent related. However, it quickly gives it up and goes back to the track. We have a similar behavior that occurs here, but I don't think this is visual related. I think this is just lack of odor. The hard surface condition is making it difficult for the dog. You may have a little bit of blown odor, so he peels off here to the left trying to pick it up, but it's quickly gone. So he has to move back over to where he had odor, and he picks it up really nicely. This light pole here is the road crossing for our trail layer, unbeknownst to the handler. And you notice the dog passes it slightly and then peels off to the left, picks up a nice hard track here on the left-hand side. So we got a great transition, a great road crossing. The dog does it quite nicely, but it's just a few feet after where the person crossed. And this is because this is where the apex of the turn is. The bulk of the odor on this road crossing went past the turn. Hard surface creates a blown odor condition where the odor drifts further than where the person physically crossed and made that track. We start to get a really nice far proximity alert right here. You're going to notice the dog's body language changes significantly. That nose goes high up in the air, almost prancing up on the top of his toes, looking left, looking right. This is because of quick wind-blown odor that got to the dog, telling him that he's getting closer to the subject. Notice how he speeds up here too. The problem is this air scent ends. It doesn't last for very long, and he ends up having to go back to the track. This is the nature of this far alert, and it's one of the reasons why you have to be very careful with it. Try not to stop the dog too long in this condition. This is our next road crossing, and it's actually almost spot on, just a little bit further past where the subject went. The handler has no idea where these road crossings are. He's just strictly reacting to the dog. One of the things that's starting to happen is we're starting to get a little bit of zigzag behavior on the part of the dog. Everything is not quite as clean as it was before. I believe this is air scent related. I believe the dog is throwing another proximity alert because of fresh odor blowing back on top of the track, but it's not lasting. So he has to go back and forth between the track and this blown odor. He prefers the blown odor because this means the source is close. It means his subject's close, and that will close the deal much quicker. The track, obviously, a little slower. So dogs will always default to fresh odor over track, which is older. Unfortunately, the battery for the drone dies right around here, so we don't have any more video of the track and its culmination. However, I think this is a great study on surface transitions and how dogs have a tendency to work scent in ways that we don't actually think of. The traditional nose to the ground glued step-for-step tracking simply doesn't really happen in an urban environment.
Yeah, bro, Fig. Good man, dude. Good.